Volkswagen Group South Africa is now in its 27th year of involvement in motorsport in South Africa. We've had numerous successes over the 27 years.
Winning tells you a story.
Rallying is very much tougher than racing. You have to have very quick turnaround time to fix things, because at the end of the day, the car has to be competitive for every kilometer out there in the dirt. This car that we're going to compete in 2011 with, we've changed over 400 things from the initial design. We have to test, we have to verify, we have to come back, we have to make sure the drawings are correct.
Normally you're looking at about between 3 and 4 weeks for a complete design manufacturing process.
We're working on the time frame, you have to get it right first time.
As a driver, I must have a very good feel for what the car is doing, and the car must respond very well to what I want it to do. I think the feedback that we've given them and the changes they've made and the redesigning that they've done has really worked well.
Everything is done in NX and moving from different environments, say from sketching to modeling to your FEAs, etc. is single click.
An interesting example last week was we have to design a new mounting for the transmission in this new car, and in the space of 3 hours 4 different designs were presented. We went and evaluated each one its merits, and in the afternoon they were designing the part that was going to go into production.
By changing certain designs in such a short period of time, obviously there must be a level of confidence involved as well, and that comes with the software.
And that's the power of a tool like NX.
The reason we went to NX is because of the integration capability with other packages, and obviously all the capabilities or all the applications inside NX.
Nastran is one of those great tools, very flexible, very fast.
In our environment you can do 5 parts a day, but you can only test one of them. And our goal is to, every single design before it gets released, it must be tested with the CAE software. Last year we got a new gearbox for the Formula Volkswagen one-seater car, and there was quite a lot of designing involved. We had to redesign all the wishbone brackets, rear wing diffuser brackets and mountings and so on. There we also used FEA quite a lot on the shock mount brackets, because that's a complete unit and everything bolts onto the actual gearbox.
Imagine a car going at 160 kilometers an hour and hitting a curbside which is 150 millimeters high. That would be the impact of what a 5G bump is.
The highlights of using NX software is definitely doing collision checks, because in some cases you've got a 2mm or 3mm clearance where there's movement involved, doing the actual motion simulations to see if you're going to have enough clearance when the car is actually moving. When we did the suspension, we had quite a bit of interference between the wishbone and the actual steering rod. So we actually had to design the wishbone with a kink in it, with a bend in it. And obviously we had to do the FEA analysis to see what impact the actual bend will have on the suspension movement.
I think that's the real fun part, is to say, well, if I was to turn the steering wheel so much, what would the result be at the wheel? Let's move the top point back in this design parameter of 20 millimeters, or let's move it sideways and let's see what the kinematic result is.
That's where we actually use synchronous technology, and we just stretched the part, and it was a 5-minute operation, and it's all integrated into all your other environments.
To actually see the parts before we even start manufacturing that, to see the finished product in a 3D view, has changed our way of manufacturing completely. In the past, the CAD guys would come back with some drawings and parts, and then it would be revised again and given to me as a manufacturing supervisor to get the part made. Where now they would have their discussions, they come up with their design, we approve it by email, and then by accessing Team Center, I get access to the part and it goes straight to either our manufacturing department or outsource manufacturers to make the parts.
Once you start manufacturing, you know you won't have problems with the gearbox not fitting, and you know that it will be in position and everything will fit.
I think with STEC and Siemens, and of course BP Ultimate, one of our long-term sponsors, that stability over the last 6 years has also given us a lot of strength with the development of the car and keeping the team stable.
I think Siemens has come really to the party to assist us to produce probably the biggest success story in the history of South African rallying.
The most important thing about motor racing is all the money in the world cannot buy you time. And that is the bottom line. And until you understand that, and really the consequence of that in the tools that you use to design to win, then you're not going to be winning.